If you feel like your personality is holding you back, your confidence, your words, your presence, this video will show you how to improve it a little every single day, starting today. Many people believe personalities is something you're born with, but in reality, it's shaped daily by small habits, silent choices, and the way you respond to life. You may want to speak better, feel calmer, be more confident, or respected. But without the right direction, you keep repeating the same patterns. And if nothing changes, a year from now you may still feel stuck in the same version of yourself. But there is a simple daily approach that transforms how you think, speak, and show up around others. Most people overlook it. Stay till the end, because in this video, I'll share 7 powerful shifts you can practice every day to steadily improve your personality and become someone you truly respect. The first key point is learning to change the way you speak to yourself, because that voice inside your head is the true foundation of your personality. Long before the world hears your words, you have already spoken thousands of sentences to yourself. And those sentences decide your confidence, your patience, your emotional strength. Most people are harsh with themselves without realizing it. They replay mistakes, insult their own efforts, and doubt their worth in silence. Over time, that inner tone becomes visible. It shows up in hesitation, insecurity, and fear of judgment. A strong personality does not begin with bold behavior. It begins with respectful inner dialogue. When you correct yourself with calm wisdom, instead of anger, you slowly rewire how you carry yourself in the world. The way you talk to yourself during failure is especially important. Anyone can be kind to themselves when things are going well. But personality is revealed when you mess up. If your inner voice says, "I always fail," or "I'm not good enough," you are training your mind to shrink. Each time you repeat those thoughts, you reinforce a weak identity. Instead, a powerful inner voice sounds firm but fair. It says, "This didn't work. Learn and move forward." That tone builds emotional stability. People who master this do not fall apart under pressure. They recover faster, and that recovery speed becomes part of their personality. Others may not hear the voice, but they will feel the strength it creates. Your inner voice also controls your emotional reactions. When something small goes wrong and your inner voice panics, your outer behavior follows. You snap, withdraw, or overreact. But when your inner voice stays calm, your reactions stay measured. This is why some people seem unshakable. It's not because life is easy for them. It's because their self-talk does not add chaos to the situation. They coach themselves through stress instead of attacking themselves. Over time, this inner discipline shapes a composed personality. People trust those who don't crumble emotionally. That trust is not built through speeches or confidence tricks. It is built through quiet inner control practiced daily. Another hidden truth is that your inner voice decides how much space you take in the world. When you constantly question yourself inside, you hesitate outside, you speak softly when you should be clear, you agree when you should express your view. But when your inner voice supports you, you naturally stand taller. You don't need arrogance. You don't need dominance. You simply need inner permission to exist fully. A supportive inner voice gives you that permission. It tells you that your thoughts matter, your presence is valid, and your growth is ongoing. That belief changes how others respond to you without you forcing anything. Many people try to fix their personality by copying confident behavior they see online. But without inner alignment, that confidence collapses. Real confidence is quiet because it is rooted inside. When your inner voice is consistent, you don't need validation from every reaction around you. Compliments don't inflate you. Criticism doesn't destroy you. You stay steady. That steadiness becomes your signature. People describe you as grounded, mature, or strong-minded. They may not know why they feel that way about you, but the reason is simple. Your inner voice is no longer fighting you. It is working with you. It's also important to understand that changing your inner voice does not mean lying to yourself. It means speaking truth without cruelty. You still admit mistakes. You still see weaknesses. But you address them with clarity, not shame. Shame weakens personality. Responsibility strengthens it. When your inner voice focuses on improvement instead of punishment, growth becomes natural. You stop avoiding challenges because failure no longer feels like an attack on your identity. This makes you more open, more curious, and more resilient. Those qualities make your personality attractive in any room, in any culture. Over time, this daily practice reshapes your identity at a deep level. You start to feel safe within your own mind. And when you feel safe inside, you don't seek control outside. You don't compete unnecessarily. You don't react emotionally to every opinion. You become comfortable being yourself while still growing. That balance is rare, and rarity creates presence. This is why the first change must always happen inside. When your inner voice becomes wise, calm, and encouraging, your personality upgrades automatically. Without force, without performance, without pretending. The second key point is learning to pause before you react, because most damage to your personality does not come from what you think, but from what you say or do in emotional speed. Life rarely destroys people in big dramatic moments. It chips away at them through small reactions that happen too fast. A sharp reply, a defensive tone, an angry message sent without thinking. These moments feel small, but they leave a lasting impression. People may forget what you explained later, but they never forget how you made them feel in that instant. The pause is what stands between wisdom and regret. Without it, even good intentions can turn into lasting damage. When you don't pause, emotions borrow your voice. Anger speaks first. Fear interrupts logic. Ego demands to be heard. And once those emotions speak, you can't take the words back. Many people confuse strong personality with strong reaction. They believe being quick, loud, or dominant makes them powerful. In reality, it makes them predictable. Anyone can react, even a child reacts. But restraint requires awareness. When you pause, you regain control over the situation instead of handing it to your emotions. That control changes how people see you. Calm responses in tense moments create respect without effort. The pause is not silence out of weakness. It is silence out of clarity. When something triggers you, your body reacts before your mind does. Your heart rate changes, your breathing shifts, your thoughts race. If you speak in that state, you are speaking from confusion. A pause allows your nervous system to settle just enough for intelligence to return. Even a few seconds can change the outcome of a conversation. Those seconds give you space to choose words instead of throwing them. Over time, this habit becomes visible in your personality. You begin to appear thoughtful, balanced, and emotionally mature. Pausing also protects your self-respect. There is a deep kind of regret that comes from knowing you acted beneath your own standards. That regret is heavier than any external consequence. When you react impulsively, you carry that weight alone. But when you pause and choose a response, you can stand by, you sleep better, you walk lighter. That inner peace shows on your face, in your posture, in your tone. Personality is not just how others see you. It is how you feel about yourself when the day ends. The pause preserves that feeling. Many conflicts do not need immediate responses. They need understanding. When you pause, you give yourself a chance to ask, what is really happening here? Often, the issue is not the words spoken, but the emotion behind them. Someone might be stressed, insecure, or misunderstood. A reactive response escalates the situation. A paused response de-escalates it. Over time, people notice that conversations with you feel safer. Disagreements feel less threatening. That safety is a powerful trait. People gravitate toward those who don't turn every challenge into a battle. Pausing also strengthens your communication. When you slow down, your words become clearer and more precise. You stop over-explaining. You stop defending unnecessarily. You start responding with intention. This makes your speech more impactful. People listen more when they sense that your words are chosen, not rushed. A thoughtful response carries weight. It feels considered. And that feeling creates influence. Influence is not about volume. It is about timing and clarity. The pause improves both. As you practice pausing, you begin to notice a shift in your inner world. You feel less controlled by external events. Other people's behavior stops deciding your mood. This creates emotional independence. You are no longer dragged into every reaction. You choose when to engage and when to step back. That choice gives you quiet confidence. Not the kind that needs attention, but the kind that feels stable. And stability is one of the strongest signals of a developed personality. The third key point is learning to speak less but mean more. Because words lose power when they are used without intention. Many people believe that the more they talk, the more confident they appear. In reality, excessive talking often reveals nervousness, insecurity, or a need for validation. A strong personality is not measured by how much you say, but by how much weight your words carry. When every sentence has a purpose, people listen differently. They lean in, they remember. Speaking less is not about silence for the sake of silence. It is about respecting the value of language and understanding that not every thought needs to be spoken. When you talk too much, you give away your presence. Conversations start to feel noisy instead of meaningful. Listeners stop engaging because there is no space for reflection. But when you slow down and choose your words carefully, you create impact. Each sentence lands. Each idea has room to breathe. This makes your communication feel calm and confident. People begin to associate you with clarity. They trust your words because you don't waste them. That trust becomes part of your personality. It tells others that when you speak, it matters. Listening plays a major role in this shift. Speaking less automatically makes you listen more. And deep listening changes how people experience you. When someone feels truly heard, they feel respected. Most people listen only to reply. Few listen to understand. By reducing your urge to speak, you increase your ability to observe. You notice tone, emotion, and intention. This awareness allows you to respond with relevance instead of reaction. Over time, people seek your opinion because they know you have actually understood the situation. That reputation is built quietly, one conversation at a time. There is also strength in leaving things unsaid. Not every disagreement needs a response. Not every opinion needs defense. When you stop explaining yourself to everyone, you reclaim energy. You stop leaking your power through unnecessary justification. Silence, when used wisely, communicates confidence. It says you are comfortable with who you are and do not need constant approval. This kind of silence is not passive, it is intentional. It creates a sense of mystery and depth around your personality. People become curious rather than dismissive. Choosing words carefully also improves emotional control. When emotions run high, speech becomes careless. Words spill out without thought, often causing damage. By practicing restraint, you give yourself time to process emotions internally. This reduces regret and strengthens self-respect. You begin to feel proud of how you handle conversations, even difficult ones. That pride reinforces your identity. You start to see yourself as someone who is thoughtful and composed, and that self-image influences your behavior naturally. Personality grows when actions align with values. Speaking less also sharpens your thinking. When you know you will speak only when necessary, you think more deeply before you talk. Ideas become clearer. Your thoughts organize themselves. This clarity shows in how you express yourself. You stop rambling. You stop repeating points. You get to the core faster. People appreciate this efficiency. In a world full of noise, clarity feels refreshing. It makes your presence feel valuable. Others feel that time spent listening to you is time well used. Over time, this habit reshapes how you move through social spaces. You become more observant, more grounded, and less reactive. You don't compete for attention. You don't interrupt to be noticed. You allow conversations to flow naturally. And when you do speak, your words feel anchored. They come from understanding, not urgency. This balance between silence and speech creates a personality that feels mature and stable. It doesn't demand attention. It earns respect. The fourth key point is learning to keep your promises, especially the small ones, because personality is built in moments that seem too ordinary to matter. Most people think integrity is about big commitments, public goals, or dramatic decisions. But in reality, your character is shaped by what you do when no one is watching and nothing is at stake. Waking up when you said you would. Finishing a task you told yourself you would complete. Showing up on time even when no one would notice if you were late. These quiet actions slowly define who you are becoming. Over time, they either strengthen or weaken your self-image. Every promise you make to yourself creates a contract in your mind. When you keep it, trust grows internally. When you break it, doubt grows silently. That doubt does not disappear, it accumulates. It shows up as hesitation, lack of confidence, and inner resistance when you set future goals. People often wonder why they struggle with discipline or motivation. The reason is usually broken promises they stopped counting. Each one sends a message to your mind that your words are unreliable. A strong personality is rooted in self-trust, and self-trust is earned through consistency, not motivation. Small promises matter more than big ones because they are repeated daily. Anyone can feel inspired for a moment and make a large commitment. But following through on small actions requires respect for yourself. Drinking water when you decided to. Turning off your phone when you plan to focus. Resting when you promise to take care of your health. These acts may look insignificant, but they compound. They quietly train your mind to believe in your word. When you trust yourself, your posture changes. Your tone becomes firmer. Your presence becomes more stable. Others sense this without explanation. Keeping promises also shapes how others experience you. People may forgive mistakes, but they remember patterns. When your words consistently match your actions, people feel safe around you. They don't question your intentions. They don't second guess your reliability. This creates respect not through dominance, but through dependability. Dependability is an underrated form of charisma. It doesn't demand attention, yet it attracts trust. In teams, friendships, and families, the person who follows through becomes a quiet anchor. That role is a direct reflection of personality strength. Breaking promises, even small ones, creates inner friction. You start justifying why you didn't follow through. You lower your standards to avoid discomfort. Over time, this weakens your sense of responsibility. You begin to expect less from yourself. And when you expect less, you become less. This is not a dramatic fall, it is gradual. But the damage is real. The good news is that the process works in reverse. Each kept promise, no matter how small, restores a piece of your confidence. It reminds you that change is possible and control is within reach. Consistency also reduces mental noise. When your actions align with your intentions, your mind feels calmer. You are not constantly negotiating with yourself. You don't waste energy on guilt or excuses. This clarity frees up mental space for creativity, learning, and connection. People with aligned actions move through life with less internal resistance. That ease shows in their interactions. They appear focused, composed, and purposeful. These qualities are often mistaken for talent or luck, but they are built through disciplined follow-through. As this habit strengthens, you begin to raise your standards naturally. You stop over-promising. You become more thoughtful about what you commit to. Your yes carries weight because it is backed by action. Your no becomes clear because it protects your integrity. This balance creates a mature personality, one that is reliable without being rigid, flexible without being careless. And all of it starts with honoring the smallest promises you make day after day. The fifth key point is learning something new about people every day, because personality is not only shaped by how you see yourself, but by how deeply you understand others. Many people move through life assuming they already know people. They label quickly, judge faster, and stop observing. This closes the door to growth. A strong personality stays curious. It does not rush to conclusions. It watches, listens, and learns. Every interaction becomes a lesson. When you understand people better, you stop reacting blindly. You respond with awareness. That awareness quietly elevates how you speak, how you behave, and how you carry yourself. Most conflicts are not caused by bad intentions, but by misunderstood emotions. When you take time to understand why someone behaves a certain way, your perspective changes. You realize that impatience often hides pressure, silence often hides fear, arrogance often hides insecurity. This understanding softens your inner resistance. You stop taking things personally. And when things stop feeling personal, your emotional reactions become lighter. This emotional intelligence is a major part of a strong personality. People feel it when you don't judge them instantly. They feel respected even when you disagree. Learning about people also teaches you humility. You begin to see that everyone is fighting a battle you cannot see. This awareness reduces your ego. You don't feel the need to prove yourself in every conversation. You don't interrupt to dominate. You allow others to express themselves fully. That patience creates depth, and depth is far more powerful than surface level confidence. People trust those who make them feel understood. This trust is not built through clever words, but through genuine attention. Attention is one of the rarest forms of respect today. When you observe people closely, you also learn about patterns. You notice how certain words trigger certain reactions. You see how tone matters more than content. You understand that timing can change the meaning of the same sentence. This knowledge sharpens your communication. You stop speaking randomly. You start speaking wisely. Over time, your words land better because they are shaped by understanding, not assumption. This makes your personality adaptable without being fake. You remain authentic while being considerate. That balance is powerful. Understanding people also protects you from unnecessary disappointment. When you expect everyone to think like you suffer. But when you accept that people act from their own experiences, limitations, and fears, you become realistic. You stop placing heavy expectations on others. This reduces frustration and resentment. Your energy becomes calmer. And calm energy is magnetic. People feel relaxed around you. They don't feel judged or pressured. That comfort becomes part of your identity. It is something people remember long after conversations end. As you continue learning about people, you also gain perspective about yourself. You begin to recognize your own patterns in others. Their flaws reflect yours. Their strengths inspire growth. This self-awareness keeps you grounded. You don't see yourself as superior. You see yourself as evolving. That mindset keeps your personality flexible and open. You are not stuck defending an image. You are focused on growth. Growth-oriented people carry a quiet confidence that does not need approval. Over time, this daily practice transforms how you move through the world. You become less reactive and more observant, less judgmental and more thoughtful. You stop trying to win conversations and start trying to understand them. That shift changes everything. Your presence becomes calmer. Your responses become wiser. Your personality becomes deeper. And all of it comes from one simple habit practiced daily: choosing to learn about people instead of labeling them. The sixth key point is learning to do one hard thing every day, because comfort slowly erodes personality, while deliberate struggle strengthens it. Most people believe that growth comes from talent, opportunity, or luck, but in reality, it comes from choosing difficulty when it is easier to avoid. Every day presents moments that test discipline. Waking up early, facing a tough conversation, completing a task you've been avoiding. Each time you choose the hard path, you reinforce resilience. This daily practice accumulates, and over months and years, it shapes a personality that is quietly unshakable. The effort itself becomes a badge of inner strength that cannot be taken away. Doing something hard daily also trains mental toughness. When you push yourself through resistance, your mind learns that discomfort is temporary and mastery is possible. People often quit at the first sign of struggle, but personality is revealed in persistence. In the end, improving your personality is not about sudden transformation or imitating someone else. It is about showing up every day, even in small ways, and making conscious choices that shape who you are becoming. It is about listening to yourself, understanding others, embracing challenges, and reflecting honestly on your journey. Each action, each pause, each thoughtful word, and each deliberate effort adds layers to your character. Over time, these consistent choices create a presence that is authentic, magnetic, and resilient. Remember, personality is not a mask you wear. It is the reflection of your daily practice, your inner discipline, and your commitment to growth. When you choose awareness over reaction, integrity over convenience, and learning over judgment, your personality naturally radiates strength, wisdom, and warmth. The path is gradual, the effort consistent, but the results are extraordinary. Start today. Practice with intention. Observe your growth. And slowly, day by day, you will become the person others admire, not for what you say, but for who you are. Your personality will speak before you even open your mouth, leaving a lasting impact on everyone you meet. That is the power of deliberate daily transformation.